Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, how are you all doing? Thank you so much for joining us on today. I am Coach Lola Owokoniran, and today I want to talk about something that may be costing you more than you realize. Waiting to start investing. Waiting to start investing. The cost of waiting to invest. Maybe you've told yourself, I'll start when I make more money. I'll start when I understand everything. I'll start when the market feels safer. Or you've told yourself, I'll start next year. But sometimes the biggest cost of waiting is not just money, it is time, it is opportunity, and it is the confidence you could have been building along the way. So, in this video, I want to help you understand why time matters, what procrastination may be costing you and maybe your future generations, and how to identify your next wise step without rushing into something you do not understand. Before we continue, a quick disclaimer. This conversation is for financial education only and is not individualized investment advice. Everyone's financial situation is totally different. So please consider your goals, your timeline, your financial position, and your comfort level, comfort with risk before making investment decisions. Now, the first cost of waiting is time. Time. We think we have all the time, but no, we do not. When most people think about investing, they focus on money. How much do I need is a question many of us ask. How much should I invest? How much could I make? The profit. But one of your greatest advantages when it comes to investing is not always the amount of money you have, it is time. Because time gives your money an opportunity to grow. And when that growth has the chance to create more growth over time, that is where compounding begins to matter and play heavy when it comes to wealth building. So think about this way. Think about it like planting a tree. Okay? Just like planting a tree. You plant the seed today. At first, you may not see much happening. No activity for a couple of days. A small stem, a few leaves begin to sprout. Nothing dramatic, but give that same seed about 10 years. It's a seed, right? Give that tree 10 years. Give it 20 years. Now compare it to someone who waits 20 years before planting the exact same kind of seed. They waited. Yes. Now, they may both have started with something small, the same amount of seed, the same small seed, but one gave the seed more time to grow. And that is the part we cannot get back. Time. You cannot get that back. You may be able to make more money later. You may be able to invest more money later, yes, but you cannot go back and invest yesterday's time. That is why starting early can matter. And I want to be very clear here. Starting early does not mean starting big. I'm going to repeat that again. Starting early does not mean starting big. No, those are not the same thing. Sometimes people delay because they think, if I cannot invest $500, for example, then what is the point? If I cannot start with 1,000, I might as well wait. But sometimes the first win is not the size of the investment, it is the habit behind it. Building the habit. It is making the decision that your future deserves an assignment in your budget too. The second cost is waiting for the perfect time. Waiting for the perfect time. What is your definition of perfect time? Waiting for the perfect time. What is your definition of the perfect time? This is one thing we have to consider because this is what keeps people stuck. Waiting for the perfect moment. They say, yeah, I heard the market may go down. I'm waiting for the prices to fall, or I'm waiting for the economy to improve. I'm waiting until things feel more certain. I'm waiting for my next big check or my next big job. But when has the world ever felt completely certain? You're waiting until until things feel more certain. Is that you? Or waiting for the economy to improve? Waiting for inflation to go away? No. You're waiting until things feel more certain? When has the world ever felt completely certain? What is the guarantee? There will always be headlines. There will always be market movements, ups and downs. There will always be something happening in the economy. And investing does involve risk. So the goal is not to predict the perfect day. The goal is to understand what you are doing, know why you are doing it, and have a plan that fits your own situation, not someone on social media or your neighbors, your own situation. I'm not saying rush and buy something big. No, I'm not saying that. That is not the message of this video. The message is this: do not allow the search for perfect timing to become permanent procrastination. Don't allow the search for perfect timing to become permanent procrastination. Don't let your search for perfect timing, I'm going to say it again, perfect timing. Don't let your search for perfect timing to become permanent procrastination. Some of us have been searching for so long that research has become another form of delay. There comes a point when that research you've gathered has to work for you. It has to turn into understanding. And understanding eventually has to lead to a decision and action behind that research. So please do not let research, your search for timing, for perfect timing, to become permanent procrastination. The third cost is having to work harder. Having to work harder later. There is another cost people do not always think about. The longer you wait, the more you may have to contribute later to pursue the same long-term goal. Let's use retirement as an example. Someone who begins putting money towards retirement earlier definitely has more years for those contributions to completely grow, taking advantage of time. Someone, another someone who waits many, many years, yes, can still make progress, absolutely. But that person may have to contribute more aggressively because there's less time available for that individual. And I do not want anyone watching this to hear, well, I didn't start at 21, so it's too late for me. No, no, no. That is not my message. That is not my message at all. If you were 35, start learning at 35. If you were 45, start learning at 45. If you are 55, understand what options are available to you at 55 and start learning and follow up with decisions, actions behind the knowledge you've gathered. The point is not to beat yourself up over when you should have started. The point here is do not let yesterday's delay become tomorrow's excuse. Do not let yesterday's delay become tomorrow's excuse. So, your starting point is wherever or when you finally decide to become intentional. That is your starting point. When you finally decide, making up your mind to become intentional about investing, that is your starting point. Waiting can also mean missing opportunities already available to you. What opportunity have you missed? Waiting can also mean missing opportunities already available to you. And here's another practical example. If your employer today offers a workplace retirement plan and provides a matching contribution, do you know how that match works? Because some people have been with that same employer for many years and still do not understand the retirement benefits available to them. You may be leaving an opportunity untouched simply because you have never looked closely at the plan or reached out to your HR benefits team with that employer, or even just simply logged into the account to read and research. So, one of your next steps may not be opening a brand new investment account. No, it may simply be review your benefits, ask your HR department for your employer, ask them questions, understand what is already available simply to you through your employer. Sometimes building wealth begins with paying attention to opportunities around you that are already sitting right in front of you. Another cost is the other cost I want to talk about is not so much financial. It's not so much heavy on the financial side, but it has to deal with our confidence, our confidence, our confidence. The longer you keep telling yourself, I don't understand investing, I'm not good with money, man, this is too complicated, Coach Lola, the easier it becomes to believe that investing is something for other people, people with more money, people with finance degrees, people who grew up talking about investments. But financial confidence is not something you either have or do not have. It is built. It is built. You learn, you ask questions, you make thoughtful decisions, you keep learning, and over time, what once sounded confusing starts to feel familiar. You are on a financial journey. It doesn't stop It doesn't start and end just in one day. No, it's an ongoing process. So think about driving. There was a time when you did not know how to drive. Think about it, picture it. The steering wheels, the mirrors, the brake, the gas, the signals, watching other cars going left and right or in the same direction with you. That was a lot. But over time, what once felt overwhelming and a lot of information at the same time with the signs, the traffic, the billboards, I mean the traffic signals, the signs on the roadsides, you know, all of that felt overwhelming at one time. But over time, it all became something you could understand and you felt comfortable with driving. Investing education can be the same way. At first, you hear words like stocks, ETFs, index funds, diversification, risk tolerance, brokerage account, retirement account. They may sound like another language, but they also are available for you to learn. You have to learn about them. Yes, it sounds foreign, it sounds like another language, but that does not mean you cannot learn them. It simply means you have not learned them yet. So, if you're asking yourself, what if I don't have enough money? What if I don't have enough money? Please do not let that discourage you. This is where I want to make this conversation very, very real because life is expensive. People have rent, mortgages, children's fees, tuition, their care, groceries, insurance, student loans, debts, credit cards, transportation. We all have real life responsibilities. So when someone says, just start investing, that can sound very disconnected from real life expenses or conversations. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying start by understanding your financial position. Know what your next step is. Maybe your next step is not investing tomorrow or even today. Maybe your next step is finding out where your money is going. Maybe your next step is building a starter emergency fund. Maybe it's paying down a high interest debt. Maybe it's learning what your employer offers. Maybe it is finally understanding the different types of investment accounts, having the knowledge behind it. Maybe it's setting aside a small amount so you can begin when you're ready. Starting does not always mean buying an investment immediately. No. Sometimes starting means preparing yourself to make a wise financial decision. And that matters. That counts. And one thing I want to make sure I clear out here is please do not confuse starting with rushing. Don't confuse starting with rushing. This distinction here is very, very important. I believe in starting and start where you are. I do not believe in rushing. And what do I mean by that? Rushing says or believes, man, everybody's buying this, so I need to buy it too. Starting, on the other hand, says, well, let me understand my goal. Starting says, this stock is trending and I do not want to miss out. Starting, on the other hand, says, let me understand what I am buying. Rushing, on one hand, says and believes, man, I need to make money fast, real fast. I need to make some money. But starting, on the other hand, says and believes and has the mindset that I am building wealth. I am building wealth over time. Those are two very different mindsets. Two very different mindsets. The goal is not to become a trader overnight. The goal is to become a more informed and intentional investor. So, what are you really waiting for? This is the question I want you to sit with right now. What are you really waiting for? What exactly am I waiting for? Direct that question to yourself. Are you waiting for more money, more knowledge, for fear to disappear, for someone to show you how, for the market to be, to become more predictable? Are you waiting for that? Are you waiting for life to slow down? Because sometimes the obstacle is real. It's right there in your face. Confront it. But sometimes the obstacle is simply that we have not made the decision to move forward. And I want to challenge you not to let another year, another month, another day or week pass while your financial goals remain in the someday category. Someday I'll invest. Someday I'll save. Someday I'll buy. Someday I'll budget. Someday I'll make that phone call. You do not need to do everything at once. That's not what I'm saying. You do not need to know everything before taking your next step, but you do need a next step. You need a next step. What is your next point of action? So here's your assignment after watching this video. Your action step is this. Write this question down. What is one thing I can do this week to move closer to becoming an investor? Just one. Just one. And just like Nike says, just do it. What is one thing I can do this week to move closer to becoming an investor? Just one. And write it down. Maybe you review your employer retirement plan. That might be your one action step. Maybe you look at your budget and identify what amount may be realistic for your future goals to invest. Maybe your action step is to start building your emergency savings. Maybe you learn the difference between a brokerage account and a retirement account. Maybe you decide that you need a structured education instead of a random information from social media. Maybe you need something structured. Whatever it is, choose one step. One step. Because information without action can easily become another form of procrastination, postponing. Now, if you're watching this and thinking to yourself, Coach Lola, I'm ready to stop putting this off or putting it on my to-do list, but I still need someone to slow it down and help me understand what to do. That is exactly why I created the Beginner Investing Intensive Workshop. It's a 3-part live virtual investing workshop for beginners. This is for beginners who are ready to move beyond scattered information, random videos, and saying, well, one day I'm going to figure this investing thing out. And in this video, I want you to understand why waiting matters. That's very important. Inside the intensive workshop, we will go deeper into the how. We will create space for you to learn, ask questions, and build a stronger foundation for making informed investment decisions. You can learn more and register at www.iminiwealth.com/webinars for you to register and just learn more. So visit that website. The description, the link is also in the description section of this video, as well as in the comment section as well. So take advantage of this webinar or workshop I do have going on right now. If there's one thing I want you to remember from this video, if there's one thing I want you to remember, it is this. You do not need to start perfectly, but you do need to stop postponing your financial future indefinitely. Your future does not need another promise that says, I'll get to it someday. Your future does not deserve to be placed at the back burner. It needs intentional actions. Your future is your tomorrow. Your future self will definitely thank you for that. Start learning. Start asking questions. Start preparing. And when you are finally, and when you are, I meant to say, when you are financially ready, start investing intentionally. Be financially ready and start investing intentionally, because time is one resource that you cannot earn back. You can't. So if this video was helpful, definitely, please like it, share it with someone. Share it with someone who came to mind while you were watching this video, someone you know this video will be helpful to, that will connect to it as well. Like this video. Thank you very much. If this video was helpful, which I hope it was, share it with someone who has been saying, I'll start investing later. And subscribe to at Coach Lola Owokoniran, just like my name is spelled on the screen. Follow us on all social media platforms, the same handle at Coach Lola Owokoniran. And until next time, please build wisely, grow intentionally, thrive purposefully. God bless you.